What's up guys, Sebastian here from Walnut Vintage. Today we'll be talking about what makes a great pedal platform. The amp that we got right here is the Two-Rock Traditional Clean. This amp has all of the features that you really want to get the most out of all your effects for all the reasons I'll be talking next. We also have this Gibson ES330 from 1972. I love this thing, it's light, it plays well, and it just sounds really, really good. And then we're using a Timmy pedal in front of the amp to get a bit of gain, and then a JHS 3 series delay on the effects loop. So let's talk about the first thing that is crucial, and that would be headroom. So headroom is basically the capacity that the amp has of keep getting louder and louder without distortion appearing. And oftentimes, what happens with a lot of amps that are smaller in size, let's say a deluxe reverb, that would be, I think, about 22 watts, which is great of its own if you're playing in an enclosed space. However, the moment you take it outside or you need to really push it to keep up with a loud drummer, it really starts to saturate, and if you run your effects in the front, it just doesn't really sound good. In the case of this traditional clean, you can get it at either 100 watts or 40 watts. 100 watts is more than enough headroom for most situations, and 40 watts is where you start to find the sweet spot where the amp can get loud enough, but it's not too quiet. Having this headroom gives you the capacity of, again, just play with your sounds at whatever volume you need, whether it needs to be quiet or it needs to be loud. So the second point is to have an effects loop. This is very important because it really makes your preamp and power section independent. So you can work with your preamp almost like you would with a pedal. You can saturate it, you can run it clean. That's sort of like the foundation of your tone. But then your power amp just makes things louder. This is important because you can run some wet effects after the preamp and you don't get any sort of coloration if you were to put it, for example, in front of the amp. We've made a video talking about this if you want to know more about that. But basically, an effects loop is vital if you're planning on using modulations, reverbs, and other time-based effects. The third quality would be to have options as far as equalizing your amp. In the case of this Two-Rock, you have not only a 3-band EQ, but also a presence control and 3 switches on top that allow you to control your high-end, mid, and low frequency. And this is important because not 2 rigs are going to be the same. A different combination of pedals might yield a different result. So if you have, let's say, a Strat with a Fender amplifier, you're gonna have a very scooped sounding rig. That's why pedals like the Tube Screamer or a Klon might work really well. But if you have a pedal like the Rat, for example, that sounds a bit more scooped, you might notice how it just becomes too fizzy and it just simply doesn't work. Having those EQ options that I just talked about helps you bypass that and just be able to tweak your amp to fit whatever sort of rig you want. these options are definitely worth taking into consideration when you're building a rig based around a pedal board. And it's basically a safe way to ensure that your rig is gonna sound good and how you want it to sound every single time. So definitely check it out. The Turok Traditional Clean is such an amazing amplifier, but there's other options out there. So definitely consider all these points when building your pedal platform rig. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to find out more about this rig, the links will be down below in the description. Head over to our website, waltgracevintage.com. In there, you'll find tons of cool stuff from cars to guitars, coffee, watches, and a lot more. If you guys want to support the channel, give us a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and follow us on Instagram at @waltgracevintage for more content like this. My name's Sebastian. Till next time.